some firing this up. Why not? What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and Merry Christmas to everybody, and welcome to DGen Christmas, which basically is just insanity. So you have a big old NFL slate and a big old NBA slate, all kind of like shuffling one after another, all island games, like pretty much all day and night. So the we're going to go over, I mean, at least we're going to go over all of it. I'll be here probably for like an hour and a half or so. And now I say this every time, but I feel as though I have to keep saying it, is it's almost, I don't want to say irrelevant, but it's sort of irrelevant, like what lineups you put in, before the first game. Because the entire performance of this slate is going to be determined by how well you late swap and how good your projections are at the time you late swap, how good your ownership projections are at the time you late swap. And it's just, unfortunately for everybody, it's just kind of an effort thing. Like, you really have to be around to do this today. And listen, for those of you that are, that are with families today and can't go back and forth to the computer as often as you should, you're just going to be operating at a disadvantage. And that's just the way it is, and those of you that are willing to, commit to going back and forth and always doing this is going to be a big advantage. And considering how many lineups across both sports are going to be dominated by casuals, like, for example, it even further exacerbates that edge that you'll have to keep doing this. So listen, I'll show my projections as of now, and I'll do a lineup build now, but just to be perfectly honest with you, like, it's I don't want to say not relevant, but the most important thing is to just stay on top of your shit. Now, the good news is, and I guess we'll do basketball first, but the good news is that the NFL, like, the late game is not particularly interesting from a DFS perspective. I mean, if you were really going to go overweight that game in the offenses, in my opinion at least, it would just be to get different. So much of the action is from those first two games. I think from those first two games, especially the first game, and then the Detroit spot, and on that side of that game, and you can get some Minnesota stuff too, I suppose. But the Kansas City Denver game, it's got a lot of bad things going against it. I mean, you have, like, there's no offensive players playing for Kansas City, and you have big time blowout risk for Denver, and neither of those things are particularly great. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't play Denver guys, but it's not like one of those late swap deals where you have to make sure that you backload like the late game. So, and the other thing that I will mention, and we'll get to it, I guess, first, is in basketball, there's one play which was like the easiest play in the world, and now it's like maybe the easiest play in the world, we're not sure. And that is actually in the first game. So I'll deal with that first, and then I'll let Brandon talk about whatever he wants to talk about. I'm just going to start doing my thing. So Evan Mobley is supposedly coming back from injury on whatever the coach means by a minutes limit. Who knows? But he's 3,500 on FanDuel. So he's going to, unfortunately, he was going to be like a literally 100% lock, absent the minutes restriction. But I even think at 20 minutes, I mean, you just have to play him. You know what I mean? So I'm not. So that's the one thing from the first game that you're really going to have to make sure to either lock in or not lock in or do whatever. But aside from that, it really is just a competition for swapping, late swapping, or whatever. What are your overall thoughts on the slate between the two sports or whatever? Then we could I guess we could start with NBA unless you have to get out of here and want to do football first. I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, I'm free for like next 2 hours. Okay. I actually didn't plan on playing the NBA slate. I didn't even realize they had a $5 one on FanDuel, so I might actually end up playing a.
They added that. That was the funny thing, because I didn't see that earlier in the week. Yep.
Yeah, I literally just saw that while you were talking. I was like, how ugly is this slate on FanDuel? I was like, where did this come from? This was not here. Yeah. So I think I will end up playing that on FanDuel just because that's like $7 80 or whatever to max enter. But I'm mainly focusing on the DraftKings NFL slate today.
Okay.
Just because I have been crucified on NBA for like the last like 3 weeks. I don't think I've made a single dollar
The
on
NBA has been rough
it.
business for
It
me.
has been it has been horrific, and so yeah.
NBA has been rough business for me too. I mean, as you saw, I ran like Usain Bolt in the freaking showdown on Monday, and FanDuel. That was fun in football. So we'll do some of that also. And listen, like I said, I wish there were NBA like big time showdown slates this week today because I would have played them all. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm home. There's nothing's open, and I don't celebrate Christmas, so I have literally nothing to do. So I mean, I would be playing everything.
And that's I mean, that's a huge advantage because there's a
Yeah,
lot of people who, I mean, I think
yeah,
this is probably even more problematic than a Thanksgiving slate from people just
yep,
not being able to be free.
yep, absolutely. So because it's like so many different gaps, like kind of
Mhm.
along the way. So what I wanted to do today, again, so this is like what the projections look like. For now, I shouldn't say who cares, but who cares? Um, and just to gaze at them right away. I mean, I don't see like any value at all. I mean, like there's like nothing over, at least in my projections as of like an hour or so ago, and I'm going to redo them. But I don't see like too much. But the good news is usually the prices are such that you could play a lot of these guys anyway. We're just going to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build, and I already just tested this. So I'm going to build on two sites. I'm going to build on SaberSim, and then I'm also going to build again to Merry Christmas to all the people I've been kind of like that have been helping me over the years. I'm going to build on AceMind also, and AceMind is a smaller site that runs. And what's unique about Ace, not unique, but what AceMind is it really just has your it not once it requires you, I guess it sort of requires you to put your own stuff in. Like it doesn't like say, okay, here are the fields you should use, here's whatever. It relies on your own ownerships and stuff like that. But I've had a lot of luck running stuff with them. I mean, I've actually won 4 like golf showdowns using the AceMind algorithms and stuff like that. And there is one little difference between them and SaberSim, which I will highlight. But the majority of the stuff I do run kind of on SaberSim. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the lineups that we build, and then we'll run them on the Paydirt Portfolio Manager to see like what we're going to do. I'm going to build like I'll build like 300 on SaberSim. I'll build 150 on AceMind, and then I'll put all of them into the Paydirt Portfolio Manager and see what we can glean from that. And I already tested this a little earlier, so it's almost going to be like a cooking show that you see sort of on TV where you sometimes see those in the morning. Oh, you just have to do this and put this in. Hey, and look what happens. But they already like pre-made the thing for you, whatever. So I might not actually do the full lineup build, but we may as well try. So first of all, with SaberSim, there are two choices there are two different ways I'm gonna build today. First, we're gonna upload the projections. And I actually did already, so I don't need to do them again. Let's see if they're in here now. Where is this? Yeah, build 3. Actually, we'll do it again just to show you guys how to do it. We got plenty of time. It's 12:08. So I'm uploading these now. Again, if you have a subscription to either TrueDFS or any site where you can upload, they're already preloaded for you. That obviously make things easier, but I'm going to do it the hard way. So the first thing I'm going to do after I replace the projections is I'm going to click this automatically create custom fields from ownership button. And what that is going to do is take my own ownerships, which let's say I feel confident in, and it's going to create my own contest field.
For what it's worth,
Based
you're not
on
sharing
that.
your screen if you're meaning.
Oh yeah, hold on. Oh, sorry, I thought I was. That's so funny.
Good.
Okay, good catch. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating my own contest field. See field lineups being created based on my own ownerships that I kind of put in here. And what that's going to do is just give me a different option of what field to use for whatever contest that I'm playing. Okay, so here it's loading in here. So then what I'm going to do is I'll go back into the contest tabs where I've already preloaded this stuff. And just for the lottery, instead of using the flagship MME from SaberSim as a contest field, I'll have the option to use this new one that I created. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 different lineup builds, one with my own fields and one with this flagship MME, and just to give us different lineups to kind of choose from. So we're going to go here. We're going to choose my own, and then we're going to build 20,000 lineups. And in NBA, it doesn't take too long. So these are the order of operations for those following along. And for a slate which is kind of dominated by casuals, this kind of like preview is just not going to be dedicated to casuals. I apologize for that, but that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, that's the true DFS. That's true transparency, and you just literally see what I'm doing. So if this is what I'm thinking about, this is what I'm going to be sharing with you. I'm not going to be telling you that Nikola Jokic is a good play. Probably is. Not going to be telling you if Shea is a good play, although he probably is. There is one bit of, I'll look at this, questionableness that we do have to think about is Sengun. I don't think Luka's a legit questionable. I mean, he's not missing Christmas. Maybe Sengun is legit questionable, but again, it's so late that I don't think it's anything I need to worry about right now. Okay, so you see 20,000 lineups are built, and then it is going to sim this using the actual my own ownerships. Now, I used to have confidence in SaberSim that I could run 2 builds at the same time, but I'm not. But it seems to be, Andy, that you've created so much functionality here and so much stuff that it just gets a little bogged down sometimes when I try to run multiple things. So it's the ultimate trade-off. You know, more stuff to do, it's hard to do it so fast. So let's see, 2 out of 3. So you see what I'm playing here. I'm playing 1 in the Mega Snowman. For some reason, I really want to win a seat into this World Championship thing. Just as last year I won one and I went and I finished like almost last in the thing. So I want to actually make it and do better and add to these tickets I've been winning. I'm doing the hockey one. I have this FanDuel thing on Sunday, which I want to see too. That gets played off. I got the King of the Pitch stuff. I got this King of the Desert thing also. So I want to win this NBA thing for some reason, even though I might actually stink at NBA. We're gonna have to see about that. Okay, so this is all good. We're not even gonna save these all to the contest. What we're gonna do is we are gonna save them just to save something to the big buy-ins. So let's just do this because I'm only making that change to the fields for the lottery. I'm not making. I don't have my own ownership projections for the big buy-in contest, so there's no chance that I can make a better field. So I'm going to use the actual big buy-in stuff as is. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here and download this group, like in total. So I'm going to ignore for the time being this portfolio manager tool that diversified for us. And what I'm just going to do is just take the top 150. This is the AF column, is the the ROI line, ROI calculation. So I'm just going to literally take everything out of here, and we're just going to take the top 150. Now, again, this is not good portfolio management per se, but we don't care about that yet. We're gonna use the diversity tool in Portfolio Manager later to figure out which of these things goes best with each other. So we're going to do this, and then we are going to save this as something. We'll save it as SaberSim, and we're going to put this custom because we used the custom fields. Okay, and we're going to go back into SaberSim again. And then we'll go back into contests, change the field lineups to flagship MME. And then we are going to resim, hit this button again. Now the thing is, again, like in NBA, things happen so fast that like if I got news like 15 minutes to post time, I would never be able to do this, like in a million years, like never, because this is going to probably take me like a full 20, 25 minutes to do. Um, and I just wouldn't have time. So I'd have to do something different. Now, again, one of the things I'm going to be hopefully doing soon is I've been really working on my coding, and I have somebody helping me also. And I want to automate my process a little more, even so that all these things I could do, like I could do like automatically. So let's just see. So let's let's download this group. And this one, same thing. Let's just make sure it's sorted the right way. Yep, same thing. So let's take the top 150 here. Now, for those of you that are already lost, these are the lineups that are rated by the top ROI given the actual SaberSim contest fields. The ones that SaberSim believes are going to represent the lottery, as opposed to the previous one where we use the fields. We use the fields that were based on my own ownerships. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a sample from those and a sample from these. Boom. And we're going to save these as whatchamacallit, SaberSim stock. Now, here's a thing that, again, you learn kind of the hard way. So here, pop quiz for everybody. How many lineups did I create in these last two things? I did 150 lineups based on the stock fields and 150 lineups based on the custom fields. Question, how many lineups did I create? The answer is, I don't know, okay? Because it's who's to say that there are not lineups that appear in both of these things, right? So I have 300 lineups here, but it's possible that these are duped. So I have to do something about that. So the first thing I have to do is I have to somehow figure out which of these are unique. So fortunately, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I have another little toy that I have here where, let's go back to the custom one I did. Hold on. Custom. I'm going to create one file with all of these. We'll call this SS total. And then what I have to do, I'll show you this tool I created. It actually figures out what dupes are or not. And where is that? I have that right over here. And I'll put this on the site one of these days, I guess, if I haven't already. What I could do is I put these in here, and then I hit remove duplicate lineups. And there's a macro I created which just figures out which of these are duped somehow. And so you'll see, wow, a whole bunch of duped lineups. So in total, there are how many unique? Oh, so I did more than I thought. Oh, okay. I see what I did. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I had some from before. So it stopped right here. So there were 244. These don't exist. This is from a previous build. So 244 total unique lineups of those two things. So let's put these in here. Boom. And then we'll save this as call this SaberSim deduped. You have to save this as a CSV. And we'll put these in here. Yeah, we'll call it SSD dupe 2 because we already did this before. Okay. All right. So now those are the SaberSim ones I'm going to work with. Now let's do Ace Mind. And we go here and we go to this holiday ball special. This is where it is. And again, we will import projections. And my projections are here. And what this does for you, this is actually very cool. All right. So we import the player data. I like to use the defaults. And what's cool is it does 5 generations. So what this is going to do is it's going to build like against 5 like different types of fields, given what I put in here. It's not like the same field every time. So it's how do I put this? When you use this use something in SaberSim, it presumes that that's the field that you're comparing it to every single time. But what this one is doing is creating 5 different field simulations based on your ownerships. So it's a little bit different. Okay, so we'll wait for this to run. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to go into PayDirt, and we are going to upload all of these lineups into PayDirt and see if we can't, figure out which of these 400 lineups that we are going to want to play. So while that's happening, let's go into PayDirt over here. PayDirt Portfolio Manager. Now, here's one thing that I hope James can fix for me. One thing that you'll hopefully notice is that we save these. By the way, we did already save these as AceMind 150. The difference here is that AceMind, they save their lineups like DraftKings lineups look. Like they don't save them just as like the SaberSim numbers. So while PayDirt can take the regular DraftKings format like this, and it could also take the SaberSim version, it can't take them both. See what it's doing here? Different simulations. So what I have to do is I have to do 2 different uploads to SaberSim to make this work. So I'll show you what we have to do here. First of all, we have to pick the pricing source. And fortunately, PayDirt now has this already preloaded. And then you have to put your own projections in here. So I already have that. So we'll go user upload, browse file, and it should be, I saved that as I think PayDirt NBA projections. Goes right here. And then what we'll do is we'll take this is the little trick we're going to do. We're going to go SaberSim, and we're going to put in that SaberSim dedupe 2. And these are the lineups we just made. And then we're going to put manage portfolio, and we're not going to look at any of it yet. And here's like a little trick. So you download this portfolio from Portfolio Manager, and you'll see that what it's done is it's actually translated the SaberSim lineup format from numbers into this DraftKings thing. So this way we could like compare apples to apples. So now what we can do is we could take this and then add, not this, add the AceMind one, which is right here. So we could copy these, add these to here, and then we can re-upload them in one shot to Portfolio Manager. But one more thing we still need to do is, again, we still don't know how many unique lineups that we have here because we added these to, we added the AceMind ones to the pile. So we have to go back to this dupe test thing. We'll do this all over again. Put all these bad boys in here. Boom. And then we will hit remove duplicate lineups. See how many dupes we ended up with. Only 3. Okay, so these are now the actual combination of SaberSim and Ace Mind lineups, all run with simulations based on the what you call ownership. Actually, these go down. Actually, I could use these two. Those ownership projections that I put in. So we're going to put these here. We're going to call this a new file. We're going to go boom, and here we're going to go save as pay dirt final, or whatever you want to call it here. So now we'll go back into pay dirt, clear data, and then data load. We'll use their pricing source again. We'll go back. We have to put this in again, this projection file. Pay dirt. And now we'll put in these lineups, and now we have them all kind of speaking the same language as far as format goes. And now finally, manage portfolio. And now we have this pay dirt thing to work with. So now we have all these lineups, and they're now sorted by these like cool little pay dirt metrics here. Now, the first thing I guess I want to think about is, do I care if lineups are duped? Even though it's only one, I think I want to be greedy and get rid of stuff that's projected for even one dupe, or at least 2 dupes. But let me just see how many I'm even working with here. So I have 393. I mean, that's a little bit greedy, I think, but I think I'm in kind of a greedy mood. So I'll tell you what, at the very least, we'll take out the ones which are 2 duped. And now it's just a question of how we want to sort these things. Now, the good thing is that I could use this metric lineup edge, which is very, very aggressive, which pay dirt it's kind of proprietary. But the thing is, I've already, factored in ownership like 2 different ways. So I'm not too worried about that. All I'm really worried about is like kind of the diversity of these lineups, to make sure that I'm not like really just like duping myself in too many spots. So pay dirt has this diversity score, which can kind of rank these for me and give me the top 150 lineups of my pool, of what I put in here, based on how unlikely they are to be like each other. So this is kind of my process with this, is I will now go into here, rate these by diversity. Take the 150. Go back into here. Download and up. Now, for those of you that are probably asking this question, like, what on earth does this have to do with basketball? The answer is obviously nothing. Okay. But remember, I mean, this is all based on the work we've done previously. Like to know enough about basketball to get good projections and to deal with ownership. That is kind of like the inputs that make this all work. So there's got to be a way for everything that I've done just now to be done faster. But considering that you're probably like looking at it like at a blur, like you think I did it a million miles an hour, only because I've done it like a million times. So that is one way to play the NBA today, is to be as into the weeds like that. But one thing that I know that I have done with this is I've used good projections, and I've used good, tools that I trust to kind of put them together. Now, the problem is it's apples and oranges. So you don't know if you're supposed to be doing that, like mixing processes together. But listen, the NBA has been so rough for me that I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to kind of try everything. Now, with all that said, what was that, 25 minutes? So
just 30. You know.
Well, we went on at 30, and I started building. So 25 minutes is a long time. That's the only thing. I could argue that in the NBA, as news comes so fast, you're probably not better off doing it that way. You probably have better off relying on one of those processes to kind of get things going. Have you had a chance to look at the NBA slate at all with all that, or is there any news that's come out in the last 20 minutes?
That's all I was doing when you were doing this. There hasn't been any major news. I was mainly just spending all this time trying to figure out if anybody had slipped the minutes restriction for Mobley.
Yeah.
But I have not found anything regarding that.
Okay. And again, it's a 12 o'clock start, and it's, most of these other games. Well, let's see what SaberSim has done with the projection here, actually, for Mobley. They moved him at all. He's now no. I mean, he's still 30.
Yeah, for FanDuel,
it's tough, right? How are you gonna fade that?
So this is like my perspective on this. Like, as stated when this started, I'm just doing that 525 one. That's 787. For me, I've thrown much more away on dumber stuff. I've reran things, and even when I cap the exposure to him on FanDuel, it still wants to just shove him in. So I'm just going to accept that and not really make a big deal about it. If he plays 8 minutes, 11 minutes, which I doubt he would. I imagine he's going to be like near 14, 15 minutes, if not slightly higher. Him at that price tag on FanDuel is pretty needed. I'm not going to really fight that at all.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Last time, I'm going to run this again live. I'm just going to use, okay, so I'm not going to use that whole process for FanDuel. I'm going to just use the SaberSim process for FanDuel. And I think that PayDirt supports FanDuel too for NBA. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure of that, though. But we're just going to do SaberSim for FanDuel right now. But I am going to do the same thing with respect for my lineup fields. So you see what I did? The same thing. I created my own fields here. And what ownership did I give Mobley? I gave him 84% on my field, and I think that's fair. I think that's really what he's going to be. So I like this. I like that field. So I'm going to probably go with that. So same thing. We'll go into just for the lottery. We'll change that one, but for the Merry Monster, we'll use actually high stakes. Which one do I want to use? I guess there's no high stakes MME here, huh? We'll do high stakes single entry, I guess. And then back here, build lineups, and we should be ready to go. Now, again, if you believe in this kind of thing, Jamal Murray, just really, really likes playing on Christmas, whatever that means. And he actually even posted on his Instagram account today or something like it's time or something like that. He knows that everybody knows that he loves Christmas NBA. So I don't know exactly what that means. But maybe if you have a Jokic and a cheapo later and you want to swap to Murray and Edwards or something like that, maybe that's not the worst idea in the world. I don't know. Again, that's more of a Bobby thing than a me thing. As far as that kind, I think that whatever. I think not too much of a difference. Let's see. Let's look at these games here. You have so here's an interesting one. So I wonder if I'm going to get to any Wemby. Wemby, they have a weird. They're playing him really strange nowadays, right? They're playing off the bench.
They're trying to save him for I guess
what?
Deep run in the playoffs or something. I don't know. But I have 0 Wemby. I was going to ask you about that too, because last time I played a slate that he was on, he was playing 20 something minutes and still getting 40 points. But at the moment, I have no Wemby. and SaberSim and even our stuff is projecting him to be not played at all today.
Yeah, I can't imagine playing Wemby at, what is he, 11,000, not
Yeah,
starting?
yeah.
Whatever. Let me see. Anthony Davis. I don't know. I want to see who I actually do get from these games, but it's really you build now and then you just keep building like right now. Let's see what I would get here at FanDuel. Right now, okay, before simming, it would be 100. Let's just see after simming what I would get. And if I'm going to assume 86% ownership, let's see exactly what. Now again, what I'm getting now. Actually, what I'm getting now is going to be what I get at the end of the day, because we're talking about the first game actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, oh, right now I'm getting 80% of the Mobley. When I late swap, I'll get less. I mean, this is the first game. So let's see what he actually shows up with.
Rodriguez is out for.
Is he?
But we'll talk about that once NBA
Okay.
clocks. I'm not too worried about
Yeah,
that.
it still looks like 100 of the Mobley. Yeah, the 525. Oh, because it's Christmas. Ah, very good. That's why I get paid the big bucks. Okay. Like, why is it not a $5 but a 525? Because 25 is the 25th, right? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. Let's see. So we'll put these in. So it's going to be 100% Mobley, and honestly, it doesn't really matter whether he gets there or not because everybody's playing him.
Yeah, I will say I've been playing more. Oddly enough, I'm not playing the 4-for-4 this week, but I've really enjoyed stepping up into that price range for entries and contests and stuff, because like the 2-game slate last Saturday with everybody getting injured and stuff with at high ownership or whatever, it didn't even matter at the end if somebody's owned 90% on how they score. Like it's like a safety net for those. So I actually really do like when players are kind of this highly owned and that cheap. If you fade him or if he's 90% owned, 10% don't have him, that really doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things.
But how many times have we seen it? You know what I mean? Even in like the NFL, like Lotto. I mean, like you have these guys that were so highly owned that they X and they still end up in the optimal. Just because just so many combinations have them. All right. So let's talk through the NFL here.
Well, now I got to do my last NBA.
Oh, go for
really
it.
fast. Let me finish that, and then I'm.
Oh, go for it.
Too. You could start the NFL.
Okay.
I'll be there in like
you're building is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, I'm finishing my build right now.
Okay. Let's just see. Let's just make sure, like you said, before we put this NBA slate to bed here. See if there's any news here. Merrill. Hey, you know what? Just for fun, I will show everybody who I have now. And literally, it's the first time I'm looking. I mean, again, this is early. Let's just see what we end up with. What we ended up with after all that process. Knowing, of course, that, hold on. What I have to do is I have to now, remember, if you guys didn't notice, I manually uploaded the lineups to DraftKings. So if I want to look at them on SaberSim, I actually have to reload them up to SaberSim. And that's actually that's very important because it actually has to, if I'm going to late swap properly, SaberSim's got to know what I'm late swapping from. So let's redo those. Okay, so this is all good. Let's see what my ownership is here. Looks like right now, like I'm getting 37% of Sam Merrill, and everything else is like 10 o'clock at night. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah,
this exposure.
I had a ton of Denver.
This is like literally It's 37% Merrill. Then you scroll down here, 24% Kolick, 22% Hart, and then everybody else is like at the earliest 5 p.m. So I will not be cashing for anything for a while.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And this really puts the pressure on me. Now I really have to make sure that that I'm on top of this shit. Okay, so that's what the thing.
It seems for what it's worth, because I go through different projection sets and stuff. It seems like that's kind of the builds. Like when I ran on SaberSim stuff, your stuff, and then Goldie stuff, it did seem very Denver heavy, regardless of the input. So just be aware of that, everybody.
So here's the one difference on FanDuel. So FanDuel, or two differences. Obviously, the Evan Mobley, but the other one is that I'm actually getting a bunch of the OG Anunoby on FanDuel in that first game. So that is something to look at. So Anunoby and Hart are both showing up quite a bit. And then I'm looking at 81% Murray right there. So yeah, it's going to be a late one. it's definitely going to be a late one. Chris Rodriguez is out, as you mentioned. Let me see if there are any questions anywhere. Let's see. Wemby too fragile. Dude gets hurt. Josh Oliver. Oh no, Flournoy is out. Oh, that's too bad. You know what? Probably saved me money. I was going to be just pounding on the Flournoy when I did the preview with the roadie the other day. I was like, I was talking about how much Flournoy I was going to play. I think a perfect spot. I mean, because like Dallas has given up, and the only guy that's balling is freaking Flournoy every freaking week. So I just figured that it was going to be his day. I can't believe he's out on Christmas. He must be really hurt. That's very interesting. So Flournoy is out and Rodriguez is out. So when Rodriguez was out before, we expected. Oh, we did get a good game out of JCN, didn't we? That was 2 weeks ago, right? He got like 15, something like that.
I think so. I just finished, by the way, so now I'm free.
No, that's fine. So Rodriguez is out. So the good news is I got a full hour. So for those of you subscribers, I'm going to redo the projections, sometime in the next, doesn't take too long once I do them. So I'll get them up to you guys by 12:30, 12:35, maybe something like that. Maybe I'll do them in the background once, but they got to update first. So Flournoy has got to deal with Flournoy and the Rodriguez. So is what I know, right? So I figured that the running backs was going to be Javonte Williams and Gibbs and Harvey, and those three, and you could play them all like very, very easily. Maybe some Aaron Jones, but I didn't think the Washington guys were going to play. But now this is a thing, right? I mean, now it's going to be like the last time where we thought we were going to play Woody Marks all day long, but JCM became just as good of a play. So 10 fantasy points seems a little thin. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, they have McNichols like almost the same. I don't know about any of that. But I'll wait and see. First thing I have to do, by the way, if you've pre-built lineups,
I do.
We'll get to
I do at the moment.
First thing you should do is just get these guys out at least. I mean, if you have, oh my God, I only had them in one lineup.
For what it's worth, since now that's changed, let me see what I had them before, because I had this earlier. So let me see. I had Rodriguez in 23%. What it was worth before. So these are my running back exposures before, since all this is going to change, doesn't even matter. I had 76 Gibbs, 47 Williams, 44 Jones, 28 Harvey, 23 Rodriguez, and then single digits of several other guys.
What about the showdown though?
I'm not playing the showdown today.
Oh no.
No.
I had a bunch from this showdown. Let's get again. Just it's better just to X him out and just Replace him straight up before you forget.
For what it's worth, at least for this slate, I am probably. Oh, usually I do like playing cheaper quarterbacks to try and just fit everybody in. I do think with how built, I'm talking specifically for the 25. Although I am playing the 33 as well, but for the 25, I would be concerned about if you're paying down a quarterback today, you have a likelihood of being funneled to very similar lines that other people are doing if they're paying down a quarterback with like cheap stacks and stuff. Like if you stack Kansas City, I don't know why you would, but if you stack them or like Washington and stuff, it's very easy to get Brown, Gibbs, Lamb in those types of lineups, and so I would be very concerned about duplication in that sense. So I'm actually just playing the quote unquote good offenses of Dallas, Detroit, and specifically those two. As mentioned, like an hour ago, you did mention the blowout risk for Denver, but the only quarterbacks that I anticipate playing today are Prescott, Goff, and Bo Nix.
You are gonna stick to the good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let the field play them. And if they beat me, they beat me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Okay. So I'm looking at these games. Let me just pull this up here, and then we'll just do a very similar build process, I guess. So the Dallas-Washington game, it feels to me, I mean, it's got the biggest total. I don't know. And now with Flournoy out also, that makes Lamb even better. I mean, I don't know. I think the Dallas side of this. The only thing there are a couple of things. I mean, there's more narrative stuff about why you wouldn't want to play Dallas. It's like the season's over, maybe they have a letdown because of that. Going into Washington, Washington will tend to really play, tend to get up for this game. Washington's been playing for nothing for weeks, and now you got Christmas in Washington. You know what I mean? It's they get up for this game like every single, whenever they play the Cowboys. So it's not that the Cowboys are going to roll over them, but you could argue that makes it even more likely to play Dallas because there's less blowout risk than maybe otherwise. Like right now you see a 10-point spread, but if you think for whatever reason that the game could get closer, remember Dallas, and I've been saying this for weeks now about all these teams, that when a team gives up, the first thing that gives up is the defense, and Dallas's defense has been terrible anyway. So I mean, I don't know what Josh Johnson has, or Josh or Joe Johnson. What's his name?
I cannot help you with that at all.
Josh Johnson. I don't know what Josh Johnson has in him, but he's got his receivers, and Dallas's defense gives up a ton. So you could play like the Ben Sinats and the Terry McLaurins and the Deebo Samuelses and the Treylon Burkses like all day long. I think over there. So I think that game is like very, very, very logical in a lot of ways. And it's the first game, so you don't have to worry about late swapping. The Detroit-Minnesota game bothers me just a little bit, only because, I mean, look, you get Detroit coming off a loss, but I think they're coming off 2 losses now, right?
I think they need to win and have help to make the playoffs now. If I'm not mistaken.
So the good thing about Detroit is that they Minnesota's quarterback is really bad, so Detroit should be able to win this game. But Minnesota is really, really nasty to try to score them. I mean, they have all kinds of funny blitz packages, and Flores is a freaking madman, and I don't know what the Giants were trying to do last week. The Giants attempted 5 passes or something like that. It was crazy. I don't even get what they were so afraid of. But so for whatever reason, Flores is in all these guys' heads. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're going to get into Campbell's head, but one thing I will say is that if Goff isn't careful, I mean, he could really make Minnesota the optimal defense in very, very short order. I've seen it a million times with Jared Goff. And if Minnesota does some of those fake blitzes and drops into coverage, You know what I mean? And Goff is lost his mind, which happens from time to time. I mean, this could Minnesota defense could really put up a number. Now, with that said, listen, Detroit still has a really good offense. I presume, hopefully, St. Brown plays. I guess. So Gibbs and St. Brown and Jamison Williams. I mean, their last week or so, notwithstanding, they still have a very good offense. And I don't know what resistance Minnesota could put up on their offensive side of the ball. So the other thing I will say about Detroit, as opposed to somebody like Denver, like Detroit needs to win and be very sure of it. Like if they have the lead, there is no letdown. You know what I mean? Like they are blasting away. Okay, so they could score a lot. So I think that Dallas, Washington, Detroit, I really think those three offenses are best, followed by Denver just because, you know what I mean? Like just because Kansas City's defenses sort of might give up, but I don't know. Each time I talk through this game, I've talked with a couple of people. It just feels like Kansas City could do nothing. Denver gets the lead, and then they just pound the rock and get out of there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. How I guess and then Kansas City offense, no thanks. Minnesota would be like my fifth offense. Like how would you kind of rank all this stuff?
I'm probably going to look at I think Dallas as my favorite. Actually, let me just look at this stuff really fast. But I'm pretty sure it's Dallas, Detroit, Denver as my favorite. I do want to say now that TJ is not going to play, I'm probably going to have quite a lot of Josh Oliver today at 2,800. I think he's probably one of the better, or at least probably one of the most used values that I'm going to use today, since I'm just paying up for so many people. I think him and Turpin are actually probably going to decide my slate. I'm going to need them to actually do something other than just breathe on the field.
You like Oliver more than Sinat?
Let me look.
I haven't looked at projection yet. I mean, I've been playing Josh Oliver for like a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same. But who's the other individual you mentioned?
Sinat from Washington. He scored a touchdown last week, and he's kind of like the cutesy play of the week. I think. I'm not sure.
I do not have any of him at the moment. I think now. I mean, honestly, coming up with any reason why I like Josh Oliver outside of, I mean, I'm just using the projections in my stuff.
Well, what about what Peter Parker is saying in here? I mean, Peter Parker. What about Kelsey's last home game? Forget of the year. How about maybe his last home game ever?
Yeah. At the moment, I have. I'll probably have around 10% of that. Him at 4,500 still makes it rough, but I think he's probably, although he's been dropping a lot this year. If I was looking at Kansas City's offense, the running backs and Kelsey are probably the better plays, especially that since they don't have Rice. Like, I mean, the receivers for that are like I mean, there's like nobody on the offense who's gonna really do anything. I mean, it's Brown, Juju, and a bunch of other guys. Like I think it's Kelsey and the running backs for like short passes. If you were looking to target Kansas City, Kelsey at 45, he's going to have to get there with just targets. I do not envision a touchdown, but I mean those are my opinions on Kelsey.
I mean, feels like a 17-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
For or 24-9. I listen, good for him that is getting a shot. I mean, I think he played week 16 last year, or week 18 as quarterback. And then, he's so funny. It's like probably every week I've had this discussion, I think with Bobby the other day or something, and then he's like, or with Rhodey, that like he barely even talks about football even with his family. You know what I mean? Like he never expects to play, like ever. He's Mahomes behind him and behind Minshew or whatever, and now all of a sudden he's like starting quarterback. I mean, good for him. I mean, listen, you're going to get a good shot out of him. I mean, he's going to do his best, but I don't know. It's against the Denver defense too. I mean, I don't know. It's just rough. I don't know if I can do much of even the Kelsey.
Yeah.
What about the Worthy though? He's got to throw it to some. He's going to have to throw the ball at least one time per possession. I mean, like that's. I'm pretty sure.
Mean, I would use Juju more than Worthy and Brown just because that 49 and 42. I would much rather use that on the Washington side, or even the Minnesota side. At least in a game they are going to be competitive in, versus playing the Kansas City people.
Okay, so just to give you an idea of what
like I like Addison far more than any of the Kansas City wide receivers.
So to give you an idea of what I get with the SaberSim things, I didn't update my own projections yet, is just using a SaberSim build for the 3-game slate on DraftKings. Like I'm getting 60% Gibbs, which I thought I would get more if you want to know the truth. Then I'm getting 70% Lamb, 50% Lamb, 49% Javonte Williams, Jake Ferguson. I'll tell you what I'm not getting is the Krosky Merritt. Oh, that's not true. I'm getting 27% of him. Okay. I'm kind of happy with this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this exposure is fine. You know, I don't have too much of. I would like to have a little more of the Washington passing game, though. I think.
I have, for whatever reason, at the moment, Deebo Samuel is my highest wide receiver today, and I have him at 44%.
I'm down with that. Let's do a FanDuel build. See what that looks like. But we have to reset them to not have what's his name?
Are you doing? Are you getting any of the cheaper quarterbacks? I'm very curious.
I was not. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what I was getting in a second. Yeah. Let's reset these projections, and we'll get FanDuel rolling here. Stop this build, and we'll start over.
The last thing that I am doing, at least to start the slate, I'm gonna at least have a max salary of 49.8, and then I will adjust late swap for what it's worth.
Just to try to just make sure you're not duped, you mean?
Yeah, at least. I mean, I don't want to go crazy, especially with this slate and with me paying up for a lot of offenses. I will most likely end up using max salary by the end of the day, but I just at least want to start a little under that.
The other thing I would say about the defenses today is that I honestly would I would not take a big stand on anybody this week. I mean, listen, obviously Denver would be the I mean, if I got a lot of Denver, that wouldn't bother me. But I want to make sure I have some of somebody, some of everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, like I feel as though anybody can. All these defenses can score. I'm not. Listen, I don't want to play Kansas City. Again, I just don't see Denver putting on an offensive game plan that's going to be particularly risky in this game. You know, so I don't know. I think Minnesota, for reasons I mentioned before, could be a sharp play.
I mean, Dallas is actually up for just not scoring at some point, like in the red zone. They've done that numerous times this year to where they just don't.
Oh, is that right?
You know, like, well, I mean, maybe not red zone. Like, obviously, Aubrey is going to get 3, but like their clock management has been abysmal this year during really important times.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of Burks earlier, Peter. I wonder what happened to that. I'm going to answer Brandon's quarterback question in a minute. I'm just finishing this sample FanDuel build. I got a lot of Denver, but who knows? Last year the cheap defense score, so I believe who knows. Yeah, I have no problem with you playing Denver. They have it's a stupid ball take, I guess, but I think they have like a legitimate an 8-point floor. You know.
Yeah,
I think they have an 8-point floor with pick six and sack upside to 20. You know, I really do. Doesn't mean that they're gonna get the 20 and they can get the 8, but it is what it is. Okay, so let me look at FanDuel for a sec. So FanDuel, I'd be getting looks very, very similar, honestly. 36% defense to Denver. So let me upload these to FanDuel, and then we will go back and see if I got any of these cheap quarterbacks, particularly the guy from Kansas City. I really don't want much of any of him. Let's see about the NFL. Who do we like better, Mims or Franklin?
Let me look. I got Franklin at 9 right now, and I have Mims at 3%.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same as far as I'm concerned.
I think
you know what I mean?
The last thing I'm going to massage is, since I'm running, those 3 quarterbacks, I'm having an overwhelming amount of Prescott. I think the only other thing I'm going to do, because he's expected to come around probably around 40 to 43, 44. I don't think I want more than like 46 for me, just because I'm doing, I don't know, I'm looking at like 180 lines. I don't really want 90 just with Dak. I'd rather get a little bit more exposure to Bo Nix in golf. That's my last.
This is the quarterback exposure that you asked for. 35% Knicks and Prescott, then 11% Washington, only 9%. I meant Johnson. Only 9% Goff, 6% Brosner, and 1% Aladucon. But again, I will be redoing those projections, and that'll change. But I mean, I guess it's reasonable. Again, maybe Denver does just put up a number on Kansas City. I guess it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe this is turning into like the, Kansas City is almost kind of glad this happened like late in the season. Like if it happened earlier in the season, it would be like the everybody go after Kansas City tour, making up for 5 years of frustration. You know what I mean? Now what they get? They had Tennessee beat them, which is bad enough, and now they have Denver peaking.
Tennessee, they're losing their stadium. Like this poor fan base is being.
I like no real sympathy though, right? It's like I can't believe a couple of years. I can't believe New England didn't win the Super Bowl or something like that. I don't want to hear it. Meanwhile, they're right back in it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
New England.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to be a Patriots fan. Go from
let's take a look at some of the ownership on DraftKings for the NBA, okay, and see what this is. Hold on. Let's export these and see what the ownership is right now on some of the guys that have started.
While you do that, for what it's worth, in that 525, Mobley came in at 68.1.
Okay. Okay, so in the DraftKings lottery, 37% went to Merrill, and then 10% went to Kolek. So I'm way over on the Kolek. So that is the big bit of, but nobody played any of these guys though. I mean, again, a lot of people are getting to these Denvers. So 37% Merrill. That's the, and then I have, just to confirm, exposure, NBA, live, apply. I got exactly with the field on Merrill. They're literally 37%. And I have 24% Kolek. So I do have a decent amount of leverage there. And I don't really have anything else going in this first game. So Merrill with the field. So I'm relatively indifferent. And then everything else. And then I have 24% Kolek, 22% Hart. So I'm a little over. I guess I'm a little over on the Knicks. That's fair enough. So that's that. So what I'm going to do on the other side. So I'm going to rerun the NFL projections. Get rid of that one, and then we're going to do this, and then those will probably be uploaded updated in about 15 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the like what the showdown slate would look like. The first one. So again, FanDuel, I already discussed what it looks like there. DraftKings already discussed what it looks like there. Let me go ahead and run a showdown slate, and with any luck, by the time that's done, I'll have updated NFL projections. And again, we don't have to worry about the NBA at all for 2 hours. Love it. Just root, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay, so let's put in Dallas, Washington. So I imagine that, well, let's see what his price is. But unless Krosky Merritt somehow got a price bump, he might be, let's see what he is here in pricing. He's 5,400. It's not like he's like 1,200 or anything like that.
Mm.
Okay. So maybe he's not 100% like a lock here. All right, so let's just build just regular SaberSim ownerships. And I think I am going to do what I did earlier with AceMind and PayDirt Portfolio Manager with the showdowns when I do that later. But I have to wait a little bit to get these ownerships up. Turpin. Yeah, Turpin's going to show up, right? Because the Flournoy is out. What other guys are going to show up here at the bottom of the list? Not Chris Moore 1 point, Lepke 1 point. Oh, yeah, Sanat's going to be popular, I think, in Showdown at 1,600. Malik Davis, Burks 3K. So we'll see. Let's see what we get first of all. We got another seat, by the way. Tomorrow I have a seat in the Mega Milli Maker in basketball. There's like there's a $2,500 buy-in I have a seat for. So I got all these seats I'm unloading on people here. Let's see. While this is going on, did this game start yet? The basketball game? Probably not, right?
No.
No, nothing. I'm gonna guess. Moody 5K. Yeah, I am gonna guess that Turpin. I guess Turpin. Oh my God, Jalen Tolbert at 800. I probably have to play some of that, don't I? He used to be a guy we had to play. Flournoy out. Dude, this is what it's all about. The next 5 weeks is every day there's multiple showdown slates.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the Saturday slate again.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's the one I like the most.
What do we got? Who plays Saturday?
Let me look.
I love it. 2-game slate and then 2 showdowns.
Yeah. I know a lot of people hate it, but I really liked when they have the 2-game Monday night.
Oh, I love it.
Houston Chargers and Ravens at Packers on Saturday.
Ooh, interesting, huh? Interesting games. Yeah, FanDuel. Look at FanDuel. I mean, not FanDuel. DraftKings SaberSim Showdown is really really slowing up on me today. One thing I will say, by the way, again, I'm trying to be very, very objective, is I think SaberSim's gotten a lot better with the dupes in the showdown builds, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I use my own projections, but even still, if you use their stock fields, all last year, they were giving me 30 duped lineups, and I had to do all kinds of funny stuff to get them out. it's not been bad this year. I have to say. So they obviously do work on it. There is, by the way, an afternoon NFL slate that starts at 2 p.m. for the second game, which I will be playing. And there's the NBA slate. There's a couple of later ones. I probably will. Depends how I'm doing. Like if I really am heavy on this Denver game, and it looks like the first couple of games or 2 or 3 games are busting, I'll probably just let my classic slate stuff ride.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, I might refire at 8 p.m. for the late 2 game slate. Why do you suppose this is? Why do you suppose Saberson was going so slow with the showdown? I don't know. We'll see.
It could be I still think it's SaberSim, and the fact that it runs in a browser, it's really CPU heavy. That's specifically actually why I'm here for this computer, for my game computer, and not on my laptop today. I just found that I don't run into as many issues when I'm on my
really
high-end PC versus every other like laptop or whatever. I think that's it for me.
Yeah, no, I'll let you go. I'm just here doing my thing, you know. So
I guess lastly, just kind of running through stuff. Prescott, Bonix, Golf in that order. At my exposure at 46, 36, and 17. Gibbs is my highest on running back. I have Deebo Samuel at 49% right now. I have Lamb at 45. I have Pickens at 45. I have Brown at 37. Those are my highest guys there. Ferguson, Oliver, Ingram are the main staples of the tight end stuff. And the defense, I feel like I want to get more of the Broncos. I currently have 40% of the Lions, 31 Broncos, 17 Vikings, and 10 Cowboys.
That seems reasonable, no?
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna wait for your stuff to get updated, and then I'll check and see if I get anything different on that. But I don't think much is going to change between now and the first game locking. If the Dallas and Washington game is a complete bust, or if Lamb or somebody gets injured, like on Thanksgiving when Brown got injured, I had like 60% of him, and I was like really scrambling to try and salvage the slate. Hopefully that doesn't happen today with the Dallas and Washington game.
So, okay, so I'll give everybody this possibility. So the first NBA game starts at noon. The second one starts at 2:30. And so the second NFL game doesn't start till 4:30. So what I might do, again, you just have to just be there when I get there. I might just go live when I do my late swap stuff today. Again, there's literally nothing to do today. So I might just go live when I do my late swap stuff. So just everybody just watch for that. I guess when you see the notification, I'll just be there. Maybe at 2:00 I'll show you guys how I do my NBA live stuff. And then I'll come back at 4 or whatever and do the NFL swap or the 3:30 or something like that. May as well. Yeah, I think I will do that.
Are all of the NFL games today on Netflix, right?
Oh, is that true?
No, I'm asking you. I don't
know. I never know what channel any NFL game is on anymore.
Yeah. I was gonna say
all on Netflix.
I have no clue.
Well, I have to figure out my TV situation then.
Let me see. Dude, we're like the wrong type of NFL fan because I have no clue what channel these stupid games are on. I was gonna say if for whatever reason, I have some sort of chance during the late game, and like the second half, I'll
Yeah,
hop
no,
on
I
my
mean, again,
laptop.
just everybody just watch the. This is why when we say like and subscribe and stuff, it's not just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? It's so that actually you could be notified. Like when you hit the notification bell, it's so that you can be notified when stuff happens, not just because we tell you to hit the notification thing. It's actually
Yeah.
something good, so yeah, make sure that you subscribe and get notified so that when we do go live, you'll get hashtag notified about it.
Yeah, because I see that either a lot of my lineups are gonna enter that last game with me just having Denver's defense left,
Okay, so
or
you might have a number, right?
yeah, or the lineups that don't have Denver's defense are probably Bo Nick stacks. So
Okay,
I
so
I'm
you'll
gonna
either
be
be
rooting for
live, you'll
Denver.
either have a sweat or an anti-sweat or both.
Yeah. I think there's a real chance tonight. So if that is the case, I'll hop live uh in my prison cell room and sweat the second half.
You know the thing I'm gonna go to
Okay.
because listen, again, all I'm gonna be doing is uploading the projections, which I'm not just want to give to everybody anyway. If you're a subscriber, you get the projection. And then you already saw the process I'm going to use. I'm going to do the same thing with Ace Mine, the same thing with Paydirt, and certainly the same thing with SaberSim. I certainly encourage everybody to check out all these places, and figure out what works best for you. But for me, I mean, I use everything. And sometimes I use one thing, sometimes I use two, sometimes I use three, but I always use something. And again, because I got time today, I could really play fancy and really lose. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
Oh, yeah. First 2 games on Netflix. Broncos are on
of course
Prime. So
that should be like something you could bet on, is whether you can, if anybody knows like what channel these games are on.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Where is
I'm gonna head out. Best of luck,
I'm heading out
everybody.
too.
See you guys later, and